Hello everyone. Good morning. Welcome to ISC Geography Class 11. Today we will continue Chapter 32 Climate Change. In the previous class, we have discussed the following objectives: natural factors or causes of climate change, man-made or anthropological factors or causes of climate change. The objectives of today's class are to study the evidences for climate change and to study the consequences of climate change. First of all, let us go through the technical terms for today. The first term is glacier, a slowly moving mass or river of ice formed by the accumulation and compaction of snow on mountains or near the poles. Ice sheets, a layer of ice covering an extensive tract of land for a long period of time. Snow line. The climatic snow line is the boundary between a snow-covered and snow-free surface. Thawing. The process of ice, snow or another frozen substance becoming liquid or soft as a result of warming up. Permafrost. A thick subsurface layer of soil that remains below freezing point throughout the year, occurring chiefly in polar regions. Arctic ice pack. The Arctic ice pack is the ice cover of sea around the Arctic Ocean and its vicinity. The Arctic ice pack undergoes a regular seasonal cycle in which ice melts in spring and summer, reaches a minimum around mid-September, then increases during fall and winter. Summer ice cover in the Arctic is about 50% of winter cover. Tree line. Height on a mountain or the line or altitude above which no trees grow. Precipitation. The falling of any form of water like rain or snow or hail to the earth. Drought. A prolonged period of abnormally low rainfall leading to a shortage of water. Tropical cyclones. Tropical cyclones are intense circular storms that originate over the warm tropical oceans with more than 119 kilometers per hour speed. Intertropical Convergence Zone or ITCZ. The Intertropical Convergence Zone or ITCZ is a belt of low pressure which circles the earth generally near the equator, where the trade winds of the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere come together. Now let us go through the evidences for climate change. The first evidence of climate change is temperature is rising. If you see this bar diagram, here we can see that from 1900 to 2020 the temperature of the earth is increasing. It is going away from the normal temperature of each year. It is also termed as temperature anomaly, means to vary from the normal temperature. The second evidence is mountain glaciers are melting. We can see in this picture that the glaciers, which are the slow moving river of ice and snow, have melted and changed into water due to increase in temperature, or we can say due to climate change. Antarctica's ice sheets are breaking, sea level is rising, temperature of the ocean water is rising. We can see again in this line graph that from 1990 to 2010 the temperature of the sea water or ocean water is continuously rising. Snow line in the tropical and subtropical mountains are shifting upwards. Thawing of permanent permafrost in the northern hemisphere is also an evidence of climate change. Arctic pack ice thinning and retreating. We can compare the thickness of the Arctic ice pack in 1980 and 2005. The ice pack layer of 2005 is much thinner than that of 1980. It means that in the Arctic area the ice is decreasing in amount due to climate change. Tree line in the mountain ranges is moving upward. Limit of arable land in Asia and America is shifting northward. Arable land means cultivable land. Now we can grow crops in Asia and North America to a more extent towards the north. Many tropical diseases are spreading to other areas, mostly towards the pole or towards the higher elevation in the tropics. There is shifting in seasonal weather phenomena and change in precipitation patterns all over the world. Grass has appeared on the slopes of Antarctica, which shows that the temperature of Antarctica has increased. Now we will discuss the consequences of climate change. Here is a list of the consequences of climate change. First is melting of Earth's ice and shrinking of ice sheets. Second, floods and droughts. Third, sea level changes. Fourth, atmospheric circulation and changes in the direction of ocean currents. Next, spread of tropical diseases. Change in plant and animal life. Northward movement of intertropical convergence zone. Increase in tropical cyclones, cloud cover and storms. Till here we will discuss in today's class. Next we have northern hemisphere melting of permafrost, change in patterns of precipitation, change in natural vegetation and soil belts, change in cropping pattern and crop yields, reduction in soil moisture, expansion of deserts and more desertification, effect on food supply, effect on tourism, effect on national parks and national reserves, impact on international trade, climate change and geopolitics, ozone depletion. All these consequences we'll study in next class. Now let us start with the first consequences of climate change: melting of Earth's ice and shrinking of ice sheets. Most important and immediate effect of global warming is the melting of Earth's ice, retreating of glaciers and shrinking of the world's ice sheets. There are ample evidences to prove that the glaciers of the Himalayas, Rockies, Andes, Alps, Caucasus and other young-fold mountains are melting and retreating very fast. In a study released by Nature in 2007, it has been mentioned that the melting among the 46,000 glaciers on the Tibet Plateau, the third largest ice mass after the planet of Antarctica and Arctic ice sheets, is causing great danger to the regulatory of drainage system of most parts of Asia. Fast melting of Himalayan glaciers like Gangotri and Yamunotri poses great tread on river regimes. The Andean glaciers are melting so fast that some are expected to disappear within 15 to 25 years, putting countries like Colombia, Peru, Venezuela, Ecuador, Argentina, Bolivia at great risk with respect to their water suppliers. Mount Kilimanjaro, we can see in this picture, has already lost 82% of its ice cover over the last 80 years, while Mount Kenya has lost about 92% of its ice cover over the last 100 years. The recent evidences have shown that the ice sheets of Antarctica, Greenland, Baffin Island, etc. are breaking and melting. The US satellite imageries have revealed that in the past 50 years, the western Antarctic Peninsula has experienced the biggest temperature increase on the Earth, rising by 17.27 degrees Celsius per decade. Decade means a period of 10 years. Antarctica ice sheets is causing great danger to the regulatory of drainage system. Antarctica glaciers produce huge icebergs. The ice shelves move seaward and large pieces of ice break away from the shelves at regular intervals. In March 2000, the second largest iceberg ever recorded broke from the Ross ice shelf and floated into the Ross Sea. The huge iceberg is some 11,000 square kilometers in size. According to a report published in journal Nature Geoscience in January 2008, Antarctica's ice loss has increased by 75% in the last 10 years. Ice cover in the Arctic region has also shrunk considerably. The sea ice now stands at about 5.2 million square kilometers compared to a typical August monthly average of 7.8 million square kilometers. This has retreated dangerously north of Siberia and Alaska coast. Floods and droughts. Large-scale melting of snow and glaciers in the mountainous area will initially provide more water to rivers originating from the glaciers and caused widespread floods in the lower valleys of the rivers. This is likely to happen in Ganga basin, putting lives of millions of people to a greater risk. The continued retreat of the Himalayan glaciers could increase water scarcity, means water shortage, affecting 500 million people in South Asia. Sea level changes. Water obtained from melting of glaciers enters sea and oceans after flowing through rivers and raises sea level. It has been estimated that about 18,000 years before present, the sea level was about 82 meters below the present level. Since then, the sea level is continuously rising. Sea level rise can have far-reaching consequences. Most of the coastal areas will be submerged under the sea water. River deltas, low-lying coastal plains and seaports will be at great risk. According to a study of Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change (IPCC), about 635 million people live on low-lying areas less than 10 meters above sea level, and their number is growing very fast. Of over 180 countries with population in the lower elevation coastal zone, about 70% have urban areas of over 5 million people that extend into it, including Tokyo, New York, Shanghai, Jakarta, Dhaka and Singapore. About 100 million people each year could be affected by rising seas by 2080. A report by former World Bank chief Sir Nicholas Steen reminds that 22 of the top 50 cities of the world face the risk of a major coastal surges, means coastal flood. The rising sea level will result in tens to hundreds of millions of people flooded with a warming of 3 to 4 degrees Celsius. There will be serious risk and increased pressure of coastal protection in Bangladesh, Vietnam, small islands in the Pacific and Caribbean, and large coastal cities such as Mumbai, Kolkata, Tokyo, Shanghai, Hong Kong, Karachi, Buenos Aires, St. Petersburg, New York, Miami and London. In India alone, 6,000 square kilometers would be flooded. Submergence of coastal low-lying areas under the sea water will lead to a serious problem of climate refugees. It is expected that the number of climate refugees due to global warming and sea level rise will be about 200 million. According to a report released in February 2008 by Greenpeace, about 75 million Bangladeshis would migrate to India. Within India, the main migration will be from the coastal states of Maharashtra 10.12 million, West Bengal 10 million, Tamil Nadu 10 million, Andhra Pradesh 6 million and Gujarat 5.5 million. Next consequence of climate change is atmospheric circulation and changes in the direction of ocean currents. Atmosphere and hydrosphere are integral parts of biosphere and are considered to be extensions of each other. Pollution of one element of biosphere also affects the other element. Atmospheric pollution brings about change in temperature, pressure and movement of air. Similarly, changes in temperature, density and salinity of the ocean water result in the change in direction and speed of ocean current. The warm Gulf Stream transport a lot of heat and keep the Western Europe much warmer than its counterpart, which is in the east coast of North America. Some experts fear that there will be great amount of snowfall and rainfall in northwestern parts of Europe if the heat transport by the Gulf Stream is interrupted. According to one estimate, warm ocean currents of the world play a very important role in transferring heat from lower latitudes to higher latitudes. The greatest transfer occurs in which latitudes where 10 raised to power 15 calories of heat are transferred each second. This is more than 1,000,000 times the power consumed by the entire population of the world. Spread of tropical diseases. With global warming, temperature of the tropical lands will increase and tropical climate conditions prevail in most of the temperate lands. Such climatic conditions favor the insects, pests, bacteria, protozoa and viruses that spread the diseases. Tropical diseases have become more prevalent in their traditional zones and have broken out in areas where they were previously unknown. Diseases that have increased in frequency or severity include corona, malaria, cholera, yellow fever, the plague, dengue fever and hantavirus. Malaria is currently the most widespread of all the mosquito-borne diseases. A rise of 2 degrees Celsius in global temperature may extend the geographical area affected by malaria from the present 42% to 60% of the planet. Cholera, another major disease of the tropics, is also spreading fast. The cholera organism survives in the usually warm water and algae bloom. A new strain of cholera appeared in Bangladesh in 1993 following the heavy monsoon rains. Dengue fever is also mosquito-borne disease which appeared in South America in the last decade of the 20th century. It claimed thousands of lives and 1.5 lakh persons were infected. From South and Central America, it spread to the other parts of the world. There was an outbreak of dengue in Australia in 1992 following the rainy season. It takes hundreds of lives every year in India. Plague reappeared in Asia in 1994 when there was a long rainy season in North India. Now children, let us see how climate change affect the plant and animal life. Change in plant and animal life. It is believed that warmer temperatures make it harder for penguins to find food and breathe. This is one of the reasons that number of penguins is declining in Antarctica region. The penguins population has decreased by about 40% during the last 3 decades, means in the last 30 years. Between 100 and 200 other cold dependent animals species are in deeper danger. Polar bears have started dropping in numbers and weight in the Arctic. A temperature rise of about 1.5 degrees Celsius has been reported off the coast of California, which has led to 80% decline in zooplankton. Zooplankton are the small sea animals. Coral reefs are also being destroyed at an unprecedented rate. More than 30 nations have reported losses to offshore reefs. Studies done over the years have warned that quarter of all species, means 25% of all species of plants and land animals, or more than 1 million in all, could be driven to extinction by 2050 as climate change turns plains into deserts and alters the ecology of forest. Northward movement of Intertropical Convergence Zone or ITCZ. Intertropical Convergence Zone, that is ITCZ, is a low pressure area near the equator which is caused by convection currents. With global warming, areas north of equator are likely to be heated more than the areas lying south of equator. This is due to the larger land masses in the northern hemisphere as compared to the southern hemisphere. This phenomena may result in the northward movement of ITCZ. With northward shift of ITCZ, the entire pressure and wind system of the globe will shift to the north, making worldwide changes in the weather and climate. Increase in tropical cyclones, cloud cover and storms. In 2005, the number of storms doubled, including the Hurricane Katrina, which claimed 2,000 lives in USA. With global warming, glaciers will melt, sea will rise, and there will be increase in area of the oceans and sea. This will result in larger amount of evaporation. Increased evaporation and latent heat reaching the atmosphere will create conditions favorable to the origin and development of tropical cyclones like hurricanes, typhoons and tornadoes. Climatic scientists have blamed global warming for a dramatic rise in number of storms in the Atlantic Ocean over the past century. Their study showed that the average number of storms that developed in every year in this ocean has doubled since 1905. This is because of rise in sea surface temperature in the Atlantic Ocean in the past century. The surface temperature of Atlantic Ocean has increased by 0.7 degree Celsius. In a new study, Greg Holland at the US National Center for Atmospheric Research in Boulder, Colorado, calculated the average number of intensity of Atlantic storm over the past century and identified three distinct climatic regimes or areas. The first regime between 1935 and 1930 had an average of 6 major storms a year. The second, the regime from 1931 to 1994, the average annual rose to 10 storms. From 1995 to 2005, there were an average of 15 storms in a year. With this, we complete our today's topic. Children, your homework is to read the chapter, to solve the exercises given at page 449. I will read the questions for you. Question number 5 of exercise 1. In which part of Antarctica ice is melting very fast? Question number 6. What was the position of sea level around 18,000 years before present? Question number 7. What is Intertropical Convergence Zone, ITCZ? Question number 8. How many Bangladeshis are expected to migrate to India due to rise in sea level? Question number 9. Which ocean current transport a lot of heat towards northwest European coast? Question number 10. Name any 2 diseases that can spread to more areas as a result of global warming. Exercise number 2, you have to solve and learn. Question number 4, give major evidences for climate change. Exercise number 3, question number 3, explain the effect of global warming on the ice cover and sea level on the earth. Question number 4, how global warming is responsible for spreading tropical diseases. Give examples. Hope that you have understood today's topic properly. You must read the chapter. You must learn the exercises and question answers. You must see the YouTube link and school link given in your schedule. Children, with this you have to write the answers of a few questions in your fair copy. The questions are: in which part of Antarctica ice is melting very fast? What was the position of sea level about 18,000 years before present and at present? What is Intertropical Convergence Zone, ITCZ? Explain how it is affected by climate change. What is the effect of rise in the sea level on human population? Mention some consequences of climate change. Explain how climate change results in melting of Earth's ice and shrinking of ice sheets, and what will be the effect of it. Explain how climate change results in spread of tropical diseases. Explain how climate change results in an increase in tropical cyclones, cloud cover and storms. Children will very soon meet in the next video with a new topic. Till then, take care of yourself. Be healthy and happy. Thank you.